keeps shutting off. This video is going to have to be in like 3 parts. But anyways, we all need to figure out what we can create through our own personal talent and potentials and creative opportunities that we have within us. And that is specifically dependent on us, and it's not anything that someone else can really tell us how to do. Okay, so that's a big deal, and that goes all month long. That grows, that energy is with us. It's not just today, although it's very powerful today because today is the day of the exact conjunction, but God is amazing. And he didn't want to just give it to us for one day. He wanted to give it to us for an entire cycle. So we have the whole cycle to use this amazing Neptune Pisces energy. And it's going to be really, really, really interesting to see what comes out after the end of this month. Now, another thing that I need to say in regards to Neptune being in conjunction to the new moon in Pisces is that I am expecting, and especially with Venus there, I'm expecting a lot of information, a lot of secrets to be revealed, a lot of covered up information, hidden information, covert operations, manipulative tactics. I'm expecting a lot of information to come out. I'm expecting to see a lot of what's been going on in the shadows, a lot of what's been hidden from us to be revealed. And this is because Neptune is the great illusionist, right? Neptune hides things. Neptune veils things in secrecy. It fogs things and it mists things over, and it makes things hard to truly perceive and to know, is it this or is it this? And Neptune can be used to manipulate a lot. But with it in conjunction with the new moon, which is both the luminaries, the masculine and the feminine light, shining light on those secrets, on those illusions, the sun shines through and the fog clears. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen this cycle. Watch. And it's not just this cycle, or it's not just because of this new moon that I feel this way. Also because last week at some point there was a Mercury-Jupiter conjunction, and it was in trine to the nodes. Jupiter is ruler of Sagittarius, where the south node is. Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, where the north node is. And they were conjunct at a very significant degree about public revelations, about secret motives being publicly revealed. And in that conjunction, in the trine and sextile to the nodes, and now we have the new moon conjunct Neptune. This is the cycle where stuff comes out. This is the cycle where we find out what's really been going on. I bet you. Let's watch and see what happens, but I bet. And it might be also in regards to like money and financial systems and economies and stuff like that, because of the proximity of Venus, who rules finances, money, market. So watch markets this month too. Watch for just big messages, information regarding things that have been hidden from us. And illusions and delusions around money this month, for sure. With Venus conjunct Neptune there, I'm thinking that as well. So that's something to keep in mind also as we talk about the energetics that we're dealing with throughout the course of the month. And again, this is all month long. So I'm expecting secrets revealed, hidden things exposed all month long. It'll be interesting for sure. Okay, so moving on, the next thing that I want to address today for the new moon, and this transit has been in effect for quite a while, and it's going to be in effect for quite a while, but it is the Saturn-Uranus square. Saturn's in Aquarius, Uranus is in Taurus. And so there's this major square going on between these planets, and it has a lot to do with restrictions on our freedoms and like burdens and just like a heavy energy around our personal freedoms being restricted. And we know that that's something that we've been dealing with this whole COVID thing for a while. But it's actually a good thing, and I'm pretty optimistic about it. And it has a lot to do with the whole karma factor that we're dealing with in terms of the North and the South node in Sag and Gemini, trying to move us out of dogma and into new, freer belief systems that are more in alignment with incoming ideas and new revelations, new ways of thinking, and not so much in dogmatic belief systems that have been put in place for very long periods of time that have kind of controlled and dominated our societies and our lives. So this is a big deal. Saturn and Uranus in square. Squares create tension that's meant to produce change. They create tension and conflict, and they're not easy, but the greatest progress and the greatest evolution and the greatest change can come through them. And we find out more about the dynamic through, again, looking at the Sabian symbols. And so I want to say, first off, the degree where Saturn is this right now, and Saturn and Uranus are both outer planets, and they take some time to move degrees. Do you guys like how I picked my mug to match my Pisces themed outfit today? Anyways. Okay. So the degree where Saturn is, and Saturn rules our karma. Okay. Saturn is the ruler of time. Saturn rules karma. Saturn rules duty, obligation, structure, and perfectionism, and the highest production of things. Saturn produces great works. And Saturn right now is in Aquarius at 10 degrees of Aquarius. And the degree it's discharging, a man who had for a time become the embodiment of an ideal is made to realize that as a person, he is not the ideal. So what this degree and Saturn at this degree is saying is that things that we have identified with as being an ideal through more of like a sense of our ego, we realize that actually is not and never was the ideal. We realize that now we're transitioning to a time where that way of being that we idolized and idealized and that we thought was the right way is actually not the right way at all. And and by us perpetuating that idea through our own behavior, our lifestyles, all of that, we were actually, while we thought we were doing the right thing, we realized that what we were doing was actually not what we thought it was. Sun conjunct Neptune, Venus. Interesting, right? So in terms of our karma, because Saturn rules karma and lessons, Saturn's the harsh teacher, the master that also produces great results. So what is Saturn asking us to do? He's asking us to reframe our ideals and to let go and to release that which is not any longer in alignment with the truth and the higher purpose going forward. So again, this is asking us to evolve, to change, to let go of our past understandings, and to accept and take accountability for the fact that maybe we've been doing things wrong and maybe now we need to change, and that's fine. Like, that can be fine. Being wrong does not have to be a bad thing. It's a bad thing when we refuse to accept responsibility for and take accountability for the fact that we were doing things wrong and practice extreme cognitive dissonance and refuse to see the fallacy of our ways. That is what we don't want to be doing. But with Saturn here, basically our karma is asking us to reassess our ideals and to get in alignment with the truth of what is actually idealistic, instead of maybe what society has convinced us of, or our generational history has convinced us of, or the media has convinced us of, or various cultures or religions or whatever. It's time to realize that those ideals are potentially not functioning or not relevant or aren't what we thought they were. And we're not as, in alignment with truth as we thought we were. And Saturn, the Lord of Karma, is there asking us to reassess that. And in square to Uranus, the great rectifier. Uranus is the planet that explodes everything, throws everything up in the air. Wah, wah, shocks, surprises everywhere, and then just waits for it to land in the perfect way. Uranus comes through like a wrecking ball and just knocks everything that's not serving, that's not in proper alignment out of the way, and then magically somehow puts everything back in the most perfect way. The rectifier. Uranus is very hard to deal with, but Uranus always puts things right. It's the silver lining planet. That's what Uranus is. And so Uranus in Taurus, that's about rectifying the way that we use resources, our value systems, and the way, like what we put value in and how we use those things to build and to create. Uranus is ruled by Venus. Venus is where? Venus is conjunct Neptune in Pisces, very strong. So Uranus is very involved this month in throwing things up in the air, creating surprising scenarios to help put us in that Pisces Neptune vibe. That is what Uranus is working towards this month, as Uranus is in Taurus, so the depositor of Taurus or of Uranus would be Venus. Venus is conjunct Neptune. So Uranus is working with Venus and Neptune to make things right. And to make things right, that requires all of us to become vessels of that Venus-Neptune energy, because holding anything besides that is only going to get us more karma, is not the ideal. That's what that square is telling us. It's telling us that we gotta reassess our ideals and take accountability, Saturn. And then Uranus can bless us with gifts, literal gifts, because Uranus right now is discharging the energetic of a Christmas tree decorated. Okay. Okay. So we receive karmic gifts this month based on how well we've done releasing and realizing and taking accountability and getting rid of old ideas and old ideals and being receptive and surrendering Venus, Neptune, Pisces, new moon, to God's will for us. It's crazy what these messages are saying, but it's true. It's right there. It's literally right there. Saturn square Neptune. Our karma is to reassess and reevaluate what ideals that we've perceived to be right. Take accountability for where we've been off. And then open up, and Uranus will create opportunities for us to be vessels for that divine creative potential of Neptune and Pisces. And if we do that, we receive gifts, literally Christmas. Literally a Christmas tree decorated. That's where we're at. It's beautiful. And it should be an amazing cycle. And this is in effect all month. We receive the gifts of our karma, and that can go both ways. If you refuse to take accountability, if you demand to perpetuate the ideals that are no longer idealistic, if you will not turn inward and start depending on and relying on yourself and what you can do to serve and better humanity, Aquarius, then the karmic gifts that you receive may not be the most pleasant, but they will be the most significant and important, because the entire purpose of them is to help you get to that place where you can make that realization and transcend and open and receive and get in alignment with the internal holdings of pureness, the little white lamb, innocence, youthful joy and wonder, those beautiful things. That's what we're being asked. That's what this is all about. Now, there's more, okay? This month, we're really working towards, but it's all building up to the new moon in Aries, all right? We have now another significant planet that I want to talk about right now, and Mercury is very significant right now, the position of Mercury, because Mercury is the depositor of the nodes and the North Node and also Mars. Both Mars and the North Node this month are in Gemini. And Mercury rules Gemini. So what Mercury's doing right now is actually very important in terms of what the nodes or what the North Node and Mars are doing, because they're working for Mercury's purpose at this point in time. And today, Mercury is at the degree of 28 Aquarius, and that degree is a tree felled and sawed to ensure a supply of wood for the winter. So this to me says plan ahead and prepare for times that we might not be so sure. And this correlates again to the inhabited island degree. We need to become our own islands, and we need to gather our resources, and we need to prepare our resources in case of uncertain times or unstable economic Neptune and Venus, unstable financial economic circumstances or situations. These themes are important. And so over the course of this month, I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but I know that we should be cultivating and kind of preparing resources. Now, resources doesn't necessarily just mean like stocking up food or water or anything like that. I also mean the resources and the fuel of the soul. Like I said, we are working to become our own self-sustaining islands. So we need to really harvest our potential. And that is another way to interpret this symbol, to harvest our potential in preparation for what may be coming. And so I think that that's significant, something to keep in mind all month. And I would also interpret that on a literal level of maybe stocking up a little bit this month and just making sure that you have everything that you need in case something happens, near the end of the month or in the future where the winter. Just preparing a supply of wood for the winter, making sure that we're prepared for the winter, and however that may be. I think that that's important, and I think that we should take heed of that and just pay attention to that and just kind of do that throughout the course of the month. Another thing that I want to talk about, again, along the lines of the Mercury Gemini theme, Mars is at 6 Gemini for the new moon, and that is workmen drilling for oil. And to me, again, it's the same thing. It's the same theme as Mercury. Mercury, or workmen drilling for oil, and a tree felled and sawed to ensure a supply of wood for winter. Wood and oil are both fuel. They're both resources. And going along with the island theme, if we're trying to create our self-sustaining island, we need to mine ourselves for our resources and our fuel. And so I think that that's what this is indicating to us this month, is to really, especially in terms of the Mars degree, to really go deep inside to our deep inner wells of our personal resources, our fuel, what we can use to sustain ourselves in terms of, like I've said several times in this video, our talent, our potential, our gifts, what we have deep inside that we can use to create and to fuel and to sustain our lives and our worlds and our families. It's just everywhere. And Mercury is saying the same thing. And Mars is supporting Mercury's agenda right now because Mars is in Gemini. And they're both telling us to harness our inner resources in order to prepare for what's to come. And what's to come, we can't see clearly right now because the new moon is conjunct Neptune, and Neptune makes things hard to decipher. So we can't really see exactly what's coming, but we need to prepare ourselves. That's what the astrology and the energetics are telling us today. We also have Jupiter at a large white dove bearing a message. And I think that this is very important, and this is the last thing that I kind of want to talk about today, is the degree of Jupiter, because the south node is in Sagittarius. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So anything that's going on with Jupiter is significant in terms of our karma, because the south node rules karma, and in terms of what we need to let go of and where we've come from. And Jupiter is in Aquarius, a large white dove bearing a message. What that means is that our way forward is to forgive and send messages of peace to all of those who we feel have wronged us, harmed us, betrayed us, hurt us, in order to release that karma. We release the karma through forgiveness. That's what this is about. That's what this cycle is about. It's forgiveness, it's peace, it's removing and letting go and releasing all of the trauma and all of the pain, guilt, shame, hard feelings, dislikes, negative attitudes towards other people, circumstances, situations in our lives. Getting rid of all of that inside of us, because the way the laws of this reality work, what you hold inside of you is what you draw into your life. It doesn't matter how good of a person you are. If you're holding trauma, if you're holding resentment, if you're holding anger, if you're holding negative attitudes, then that is what you're going to get more of in your life. More circumstances for that same thing. And the south node right now is at a groundhog looking for his shadow. So really the message is stop running around in circles, in cycles of attracting the same things in life over and over and over again, because you're holding on to those negative energies, that resentment, that pain, those experiences that you've gone through that have hurt you and that have made you so jaded. Now is the time we have to release that. We have to let it go, because if we don't, the gifts that we receive from Saturn and Uranus this month will not be happy ones. If we let it go and replace those feelings with the merry little white lamb archetype, peace, gentleness, joy, wonder, receptiveness, openness to all there is, just general goodness, those are the gifts and the blessings that we will get. Unconditional, overflowing avalanches of gifts and abundance flowing into our lives. And we will truly be able to become those inhabited islands and be self-sustaining, because we're harnessing our own inner resources. We've drilled our own oil. We've cut our logs internally, and we've prepared for uncertain times, and we'll be okay no matter what. And we don't need to depend on the mainland. We don't need to depend on anyone besides our own selves and what we can produce in terms of our resources. And it's really, really beautiful. So that's what we have coming for us all month. I'm like really, 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 really urging everyone to tune into your intuition, to go inside yourself, and really just soul search and think about, go back to your childhood and think about the things that inspired you, and think about what you loved, and think about what gave you joy to do, and then figure out how you can use that to serve others and to create a livelihood for yourself, because for every gift and talent, there's a need for that. And it's different. It's different for all of us, but that's, it's just so important. And that is the age of Aquarius. That's how it happens. That's what the age of Aquarius is. It's no longer us looking outside of ourselves for an authority or a higher source or a higher spiritual person who we assign the power to then tell us what to do. No, it's about us personally connecting to that higher source inside of us, and then using that inside of us to, in combination with our own specific personal blessings, to create our gift to the world. We can be the Christmas tree too. We can be the Santa Claus. And it's really all about that. So with that, I'm going to wrap this up. We have a really, really, really just special, magical, divine, loving, peaceful month this month, with so much potential to release, to heal, to replace our negative feelings with joy and gentleness and goodness and pureness and innocence, and to use those going forward to create our new life. And that's what the universe is asking us to do this month. So with that, I will wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on Monday for the astrology for Monday, the outlook. Hope you guys have a great weekend and make the most out of this beautiful, beautiful new moon. See you guys later. Bye.